Hey guys, Jazz back with another video. In this video, we're just going to go over a couple of the cards I've been picking up. What I've been picking up, I normally don't buy graded because I like to get the cards cheaper, get them graded. You know, obviously if you buy a card, let's say you buy this one for $20-something, you send it off to get graded, comes back a PSA 10. Maybe they're going for like 30-something now. So send it off to get graded, you're like $40-something in, and his price goes down. His PSA 10 Prism goes from, his Prism Silver goes from 200 to now being worth 120. Well, if you're only $60 invested and you get 10, you can still profit off that, double your money regardless. And that's why I normally like to tend to buy raw and then sell graded, especially on cards that are super like hyped up, like players that are super hyped up. Darius Garland isn't one of those super hyped up players just yet, so I'm talking about like these Zions and stuff like that. That's why I was really scared in the beginning to actually heavily invest in those guys, because again, they start playing bad, their markets can crash and you can lose. You know, I didn't see as much profit margins, but now that the obviously PSA has upped their prices on grading, you want to get a little bit more quality of cards you're sending in. You don't want to be sending some of the lower. And in the background has nothing to do with what I've been picking up, just, you know, a little Darius Garland PC action. We got the White Sparkle PSA 9. That is a pop one. That's the only one in PSA graded, and the only other ones that I've seen in the non-graded, the centering, believe it or not, was even worse, like double worse. Like the sides were like rail thin, like you can barely see one of the sides, and the other side was super thick. Probably gonna be a, you know, I don't think they're gonna be PSA 10s, because most of these White Sparkles were extremely off-centered. We got a Prism Silver there, we got an orange, I think it's numbered to 199, and then Optic Hollow. Again, got a lot of Darius Garland, and we're going to be getting a lot more Darius Garland. But this is just something, again, this card I did buy off eBay graded already. Paid like 110 bucks for that. I probably picked up 2 Cal guys, because in my life, I think before this last month, I probably bought 4 graded cards, and most of them were because they were so cheap, I wanted to flip them, except for this one. This one is obviously a later flip. But again, I think this goes for way more now. I mean, the White Sparkles are going for like 300-400 graded PSA 9s for players at his level or even worse players. I got 2 Cal guys BGS 9s, but one was like a Prism number to 25. I bought it for like 18-20 bucks. Sold it for like 80-something, $90, like months after I bought it. And the same thing, I bought one of these Optic number to 79, the Velocity, the pink Velocities. I bought it for I think 15 bucks, and I wound up selling it for like 60-something. So I bought an Aaron Donald for like 30 bucks, and I sold it for like 90-something. Again, not much graded, so I bought like 4 or 5 graded cards in the past. And this last month, I probably bought close to like 15. I got some more graded cards on the way. I think there's like 14 right here. And most of these I'm buying are quarterbacks, because a lot of the quarterbacks who aren't having the best seasons, who I kind of believe in, or I believe there's a good buying opportunity. Not necessarily believe in, but I believe that they'll actually get another shot and their prices will take a bump in the future. So it's Drew Lock. This one I got for dirt cheap. His stuff is still holding up pretty expensive, even though he hasn't played the best this season. He had 2 games ago, he had a good game. Last game, I think he had like 3 interceptions or something like that. But his stuff's still holding on. He's a really hyped up, out of the quarterbacks, the most hyped up quarterback is Drew Lock, because his prices do not reflect his play. I think his prices are old. Well, the Patriots, Jarrett Stidham was the most hyped up, because his stuff was going for more than Daniel Jones in the beginning, before the season started, which is wild. Somebody who's never thrown a touchdown and has way more. Like now he's got like 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, something like that. But I digress. He was the most hyped up. I think Drew Lock is the most hyped up. And again, I paid $13 shit for this. It's a SEC 9.5, not bad. This is numbered to 299 out of Phoenix, and Phoenix was really good this year. I think there's a product that's on the rise, so that's something to look into. I think Phoenix was like had crazy good parallels, and I like their how the Phoenix looked this year, better than last year's, definitely. But again, 12-13 bucks for a numbered, you know, Gem Mint Plus, not bad. Easy pickup. And again, on the last video, you saw this in the background. This is Cosmic. I think it was 90 bucks for this card, And I think Daniel, I'm about to say, Dwayne Haskins will probably get traded this offseason. And if he goes to a good team, like let's say he goes to the Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to be his backup. I think his prices will take a big jump just with that news of a trade. And, so again, I think this card, and again, I'm not getting like, Prism base cards of his and stuff like that. I'm going to get some high-end stuff that, even if he never does anything else, guess what? He went to Ohio State. That's a huge school, huge market. And if somebody ever wants a crazy card, this is probably not going to be, again, this is going to be a tough pop just because of all the little sparkles and stuff like that. This is a tough grade. And again, I think these are, they're not actually numbered, but they're like short printed to 20 at the most. And again, Ohio State fans, they want nice looking Dwayne Haskins cards. They'll play a couple $100s for this card. I'm almost certain of it. Again, he went to a huge college school, so that also helps with the market, and it's a nice card. I'm not selling like picking up a bunch of base Prism PSA 10s and stuff like that. Those would probably be tougher to move, but somebody who wants a crazy looking Dwayne Haskins card, they'll pay good money for that. And again, that's going to be a low pop card, going into the future. Now we're going to get to some Daniel Jones. The rest of these are Daniel Jones. I'm a big Daniel Jones believer. I obviously should have sold all my Daniel Jones. I did not. I'm going to show you some of the cards I held on to, which I probably should have sold in hindsight because the prices did drop. I got a bunch of cards over here on the side. Specifically these. I mean, this is going for now for like $250, $300. Again, I paid $40 for this number to 49 card. So I'm still in the positive. But this card was selling for like $600, $700 at one point. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, I probably should have went off with this. And again, this one's like $400 or $500 beginning of the season. Right now, it's like $150, $200 card. Again, but I'm holding my Daniel Jones now. That was my plan, was to hold, because I was a big believer. He started off pretty bad. Now they've won 2 games straight, so now his card is starting to pick up steam a little bit more. Back up again. I'm a big believer. I think next season I'll probably try to move some of these. I think they'll probably come short of missing the playoffs, but he's gonna be playing well down the stretch. I believe they'll draft a wide receiver. They'll probably pick up a wide receiver in free agency. He'll start to get a little bit more hyped up, and his stuff will go back up. So, but I did sell some of the cards that I got from the submission because I had some other Prism cards that I had. I had a Prism base PSA 10 that I sold for $360. Mind you, the Prism base sold for $360. So just imagine what these cards were going for when the base Prism, I sold it for $360. I sold the green that I got back as an 8 that I cracked out. I sold it for like $110. I cracked out a 8 of red, white, and blue. Sold that for like $60. And I sold the red, white, and blue PSA 9 for like 100 and something. Like low 100, like 110. So combined, I sold those 4 cards for 2 raw, 1 PSA 9 and 1 PSA 10 base. Sold them for around $600. And basically, I reinvested in Daniel Jones. So this is a little bit under $600 here. I'm not sure of all the prices of one thing, but I did add up all the totals. A little bit under $600, like $580 shipped all these cards. And we're just going to get into it. This SEC 9, I paid like $60-something for this one. Again, these at their peak as PSA 10s were selling for like $500-$600. Again, I picked it up for $60-something, not bad. And again, SEC is a tough grade. So this one is really deserving of a 10 if SEC gave it a 10. Yeah. Then this one is Obsidian, numbered to 25. I believe I paid under $30 for this. Probably with shipping, it probably came out, shipping and taxes probably came up to around $30. But again, these are tough grades with borders, numbered to 25 for $30. I'll take it. I mean, just the grading now, this is $15 just to get the card graded. So again, I paid like $10 for the actual card and $15 for the PSA case. So similar to this one's under $30 as well. This one's a PSA 10 Luminous. I like the Luminous this year. Obviously not the best colorway with the green. Obviously the blue or the red or something would have looked nicer because the Giants colors are primarily blue with a little red on them. So those would have been more ideal, but numbered to 49. Short print, PSA 10 for $30. I'll take it. Again, he starts playing well next season. They're hyped up. It's a big market in New York. One of the top 5 franchises in football. So Again, not bad. These 4 cards, I picked them up all together. It was a lot for 110 bucks, I think. I wound up winning the auction. I think it came out to like 107, 108, but with shipping and everything, maybe like 115. Again, PSA 9 base prisms, 3 of them. This is a Spectra number to 99 right there. So again, easy flips. I mean, again, I was selling some of these raw cards for like 60, 70, 80. So I'm buying them graded as PSA 9s, which generally sell for more than raw, for 30 bucks, less than 30 bucks, like 28, 26 bucks a piece. Not too bad there. Again, I'm just holding on to him so his stuff gets really hot. We got a Prism, Optic Pink. I think I paid somewhere around 30 bucks again. Pretty cheap. PSA 10 again, just to get these cards graded now is 15 bucks. Even at the lowest rate you can get them. There's a little offset on top of the bottom, like, so you can see that it got a 9. And again, I cracked out an 8 of this and sold it for 100 something. I paid like 35 shipped for this one. So again, sold one of these raw for 110 when he was hot. Now that his price had dropped like a couple weeks ago, I wound up picking this up for like 30 something dollars already graded. Again, 15 bucks just to get graded. This was one of the biggest steals. This is an Optic Holo 9.5. It doesn't have the subgrades, but it's still a 9.5 for 30. I think it was 35 shipped. I wound up paying for this card, which is crazy for a gem mint of this card. When this card raw was pushing 100, over 100 at one point, and as a gem mint, I paid $30 for it. I'll take that every day. Now we get into some Select. This is the tricolor for field level to 99. Paid like $65, $70. I think it came up to like 70 shipped for this card. Again, I'm a big believer in Select court field level, which is courtside in basketball, but in football it's field level. Love this card. This is the best level and the hardest level to get from Select. This was a good deal as well. I think I wound up paying 60 ship for this card. This is the XRC Select. This is the one that if you buy Select, like if you get Select from this year, you'll get the cards from the rookies from next year. So you'll pull the card, it'll say XRC QB2. So whoever's the quarterback 2 that's taken, which was Daniel Jones this year, then you'll get this card. Once the draft happens, they'll start sending out some of these XRCs. So again, this actually gets pulled the year before. That's why you can see this says 2019. And this one says 2018 because this was actually pulled in 2018. This is where you pulled this card at, but you didn't actually get the card. You just got the redemption for this card whenever the draft will happen the following, months later. So again, this card was probably pushing 200. This card sometimes sell for more than the Prism Silver base. So again, got this for 50 something, wound up like 60 something shipped. Already graded, PSA 9. I'll take that every day. Again, I love Select field level. I think Daniel Jones is undervalued, and I also think this set is undervalued. So again, a double whammy effect. I bought a bunch of these raw, bought like 4 or 5 raw as well in this last month. But yeah, I think Daniel Jones stuff is way undervalued, and also this set is way undervalued. So if both of them take off at the same time, this card will take a humongous leap forward. And I'm looking to pick up a lot of Select field levels because again, I'm big on Select field level. And again, if I'm big on the Select field level and then I'm also big on the player, you can have a double whammy effect. So the player starts playing well and the set also gets the recognition it deserves. Because in my opinion, again, I reiterate this, the courtside in basketball outsells almost double the Prism Silvers. So these in basketball sell for twice as much as this. But in football, this sells for twice as much as this. So there's a big discrepancy there that I think eventually the market will catch up on. I'm not saying that these Select field levels silvers will outsell the Prism Silvers, but they should be at least on par. They're not going to double it like in basketball, I don't think. Because I think the print runs are a little bit different. I think these are a little bit less rare in football, and the Select silvers are a little bit more rare in football than they are in basketball. So again, I think there's some balance to that, but I think these cards are just better looking. I don't think, even though this is not, apples to apples, but I don't think Prisms just the design just isn't as good. I mean, this is a nice ass parallel, but the design, in my opinion, for Prism was not up to, Select is just way better in my opinion. So I think I didn't pay 200. I think this one was 76, and with taxes and everything, probably came to like 80 something dollars. Again, undervalued. That's all I'm trying to do. I normally don't buy graded, but when a guy's stuff is super undervalued, I don't mind picking up graded, especially with somebody like Dwayne Haskins, where when that trade happens, that's when his price is going to take a huge spike. I don't want to have cards sitting at PSA and then the spike happens, and that's the only selling opportunity I have, and the cards are sitting at PSA. I want them on hand, ready to sell, ready to move when his stuff, takes a move. But with Daniel Jones, I think that Daniel Jones stuff is way undervalued. Again, it's starting to pick up a little bit because I've been buying this for like a month and a half. I started buying this stuff like, say, a month and a half to a month ago. I started buying some of his greatest stuff. I normally don't, but again, I just saw his stuff so cheap that I just had to jump on it. I mean, some of these cards are going for like a fraction of what they used to. Like this card as a 9.5 used to go for $400. I bought it for $30. It used to be $300 to $400 card. I bought it for $30. That is a fraction of what they used to go for. So I don't mind jumping on it because I've seen what the cards can actually sell for in the future. And again, all this that I reinvested was 4 Prism cards. 1 graded PSA 9, 1 graded PSA 10 base Prism, and 2 raw cards turned into all these cards: XRC, select field level silvers, number to 99 thing, hollow. I've got a bunch of stuff here. Some more Prism base cards. PSA 10 luminous number to 49, PSA 9 number to 25, a PSA 10, So again, I don't mind reinvesting that money that I made off of Daniel Jones back into Daniel Jones because I am a believer, and I think a lot of these cards will skyrocket, and I think some of these sets like this one will skyrocket in the future. So that's just something to believe in. I'm not telling you what to go out and buy, but, find a player you like. I do think that select, especially field level, is underpriced in football. So maybe there's a player you like that you think is undervalued right now and you want to go for a set. I think select field level is the set to go after. You don't necessarily have to be Daniel Jones. Maybe you're a believer in Jarrett Stidham. I don't know why, but maybe you are. Whatever, just do what makes you happy. But again, Daniel Jones is my QB guy. Prospect out of there. Obviously, Kyler Murray's playing crazy right now. So that helps. I also have a lot of wax that I bought, blasters, that I'm also holding on to as well, that I'm like $16 a box into them, and they're going for over $100 now. So different things like that. You can you can diversify your money and put it in lot of different places. You don't want it all in one place unless you're really, really big. But again, I'm really diving into Daniel Jones, but it's stuff that, reinvesting the money I already had on them, and I'm buying stuff that's dirt cheap that can't go any lower pretty much, and can have the potential to skyrocket. That's what you want to go to. You don't want to buy a player when he just had 3 straight 4-touchdown games and his stuff is super, super hot and in fuego, and his stuff is going for $1,000. You pay $1,000 for one card. He has a couple of bad games. Now the card's worth $300 or $400. That's not like my strategy. My strategy is to get the guys who I believe in, who are on the low, or get the guys before they blow up, like Darius Garland and stuff like that. That's more my strategy than getting those big, super high-end, shiny players who can really burn you. Like if Zion comes out this season and like gets injured and looks out of shape and doesn't look good, like a lot of people are going to be burnt on them Zion Williamson cards just freaking evaporating in prices. So that's why it's a little bit more dangerous when you play up there with the big boys. Unless you're buying raw and getting it graded, you kind of, give yourself a little safety net there that even if his prices go down, you bought it raw, got it graded, and then you can sell it you can still make money off of it, But if you're buying the cards graded when they're super hyped up already, it's a little riskier business. So it's pretty much it. Just a little strategy how I do things. Let me know in the comment section how you guys like to buy, what to buy raw, buy graded when players are hot, right before they get hot. How do you guys do it? So pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, guys.